Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Oh, of course, the first question.
Before you start,
Go on.
We've all got to sort of wave our. You see that?
Yeah.
We've got to wave our phones around, like Stevie did on the show, because apparently somebody's told him if you do that, somebody will think it makes you look intelligent, and you've got half a brain.
You don't know what's going on that man's head. YouTube will be excited by this question. Does Christian Pulisic deserve to be in the Chelsea starting lineup, Craig?
Right, what American soccer journalist sent that in? Well, it is a fair shout, to be honest, and he is arguably the best option in that position. We saw Loftus-Cheek play there today, but he's more of a central midfielder, and I think he's stronger in that position. But absolutely, I don't think he's far away from playing. He took his goal well. So yeah, there is an argument that in the next couple of games, particularly with him coming off the bench and making a difference, they'll get a start.
What's Don going to say, Craig?
Yes, he's going to say Frank said he's shy and he needs to come out his shell a bit more, and he should play. And I was talking.
He's a hell of a player.
I was talking to Frank at the what was it? The Super Cup? What do they call it?
Yeah.
Hold on. I've got a text in from Frank. Hang on.
Yeah. What's it saying?
Yeah, love you.
Stop mentioning me.
Yeah.
Stop texting me. Go on then, Don.
Stop bothering me.
Pulisic.
No, do you know what his text says?
What?
Frank Lampard's just sent a text that said, "Who's this?" I've lost my phone. Who's this?
Christian Pulisic,
Go on.
starting 11, Don?
I think so. I mean, I like him. I think he's terrific. I think he offers something different. And when when we talk about Frank Lampard putting his own stamp on this Chelsea side, all of a sudden now, under Frank's terms, he can allow to say to people like Willian and Pedro, if he wants to show them the door and sell them on and make a little bit of cash. He's got unbelievable options. I think if you're asking me who's ahead, Christian Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi, I think it's Christian Pulisic. I think he's different to what he's got in that position. He's quick. He can take people on. You haven't really got too many players that can face defenders at 1v1 and take them on. I think he's a terrific player. He's only young, needs time to settle, but every time I watch him play, I think he's got severe ability.
What's that strip behind you? This show, Don?
Everton. I thought I'd put it on because we were chatting Merseyside derby.
That's Everton, blue and yellow.
Yeah, away strip. Well, Nil Satis needs the optimum.
1-1 went bankrupt, didn't they, after you wore that?
I don't know. You tell me. You guys have got all the cash.
Don's first season with us, and when he was on probably around about November, December, we were talking about Leicester and West Ham, and he said that West Ham would finish higher than Leicester, he felt. Since then...
No, it was earlier than that in the season.
Was it earlier?
He went early.
He went early, which then leads us to the Don, will Hammers stay up? They were terrible. When was that, yesterday?
Yesterday, I commentated on the game against Wolves. It was men against boys. I mean, when I saw the lineup for David Moyes and I seen the squad that he had, I mean, Lanzini, not good enough, not strong enough. Philip Anderson was missing all game. I mean, Pablo Fornals, I think he's a decent player when he's confident and when West Ham play well, but they were miles away from Wolves. It was like watching, if you had two sides, an under-16 side against men. And if you think where Wolves are, pushing for a top 6 position or even higher, you can see where Wolves are going. West Ham at the moment are nowhere near it. They are miles away. So they've only got to hope, I think, West Ham fans, that the 3 worse sides than West Ham, I think, in my opinion, Norwich are doomed. I think Bournemouth are doomed. And it's going to be up to Aston Villa or maybe Watford to try and save West Ham's blushes.
I think they'll only stay up, Dan, because of others, if that makes sense. And I think that's what Don's saying. I don't think West Ham have got enough to do it for themselves. So I think because I don't think they're good enough. And I think the squad's better than what we're seeing, but I don't think they're clearly not organised enough and good enough to get the results needed. They're going to be reliant on the others almost losing most of the games. And that's not a good position to be in.
I mean, their best 2 players yesterday was Declan Rice, who played centre-half, and Mark Noble, who was a holding midfield player.
Which of these has the most mobility, Craig? Harry Maguire, Olivier Giroud, or an actual cruise ship?
Well, at the end of the day, Olivier Giroud is he's had a very successful career.
He's a World Cup winner.
He's a World Cup winner, and his record for France is almost, and I haven't got it in front of me, but last time I looked, it was almost a goal every 2 games, in quite a lot of games. So, he's done the business for Didier Deschamps and others. He's an option. Harry Maguire is a very good footballer, coming out with the ball, a bit like John Stones, in a sense. He's supremely talented, sees a pass, does all that, and he's a good defender when the ball comes into the box. But I think he's been caught out quite a lot, what I would say, flat-footed and square, and that's where he struggles. When you get him backed up one-on-one, he gets himself a little bit square, and he gets turned very easily. So that's a concern. But I wouldn't, at the end of the day, he's a professional footballer playing for a very big club, and he's earned himself a really big move. He's played in a World Cup semi-final. So we should remember these things when we're comparing professional footballers to cruise ships, as it is.
You've been on a cruise before, Don? I imagine you've tried to blag your way on the way you are.
No, not my cup of tea. I can't imagine that. It's not for me. Imagine you have though, Dan. I can see you on a cruise ship.
Well, apparently Frank Lampard was on a cruise once, and he came out of his cabin, and Don was there. He went, "Cruise!"
I got the room next to him.
It's by the portal. Don, given that you played for every team in the British Isles, what team did you enjoy being a part of the most, and who do you support?
Well, my team's Newcastle. Always has been. I stood on the Gallagher end when I was a youngster. I think I enjoyed my time at Everton because I was club captain and I had a responsibility, and I was a little bit older and I was a little bit wiser. When I was at Liverpool, I was young, I was a teenager, and I was just loving life playing for Liverpool. I enjoyed the nightlife as well. That was the culture at the time. So I think out of all the clubs where I thought I performed best was the shirt behind me, Neil Satty's Nisi Optimum.
Hey Dan, I can't get that out of my head, mate. It's like Frank Lampard's taking a cruise ship, right? He's taking a cheap room without a balcony, clearly. And he's got a porthole. He's got a porthole, and he just goes for a little swatch out the window to see what the waves are like. And then just at the last moment, this week, up it comes. It's like something from Jaws.
It's bloody Hutch. He's back. Since Don is mates with Jody and Frank and has sources at Chelsea, are they planning on buying centre-backs? So which ones are they targeting, and who's likely to leave?
I don't think that is on their radar. Maybe a left-back. I'm not sure what's happening with Marcos Alonso, because he's a wonderful player when Chelsea play a 3 and he can play as a wing-back, but not defensively in a 4. So I think they're pretty settled there. Rudiger's good. Christensen's decent. Young Tomori looks a real star for the future. So I wouldn't have thought that would be an area on the pitch he should strengthen. And in my opinion, I think he should buy number 9. Now, I know they've got Tammy Abraham and I know they've got Giroud, but if you're going to compete at the very highest level and try and win the Premier League and try and win Champions League, I always think you need a striker, the elite strikers, the world-class strikers that are going to get you between 25 and 30 goals a season.
Timo Werner can play there though, can't he, Don?
He can, but in my opinion, he's better off the left. He can play there. I've seen him play there for Leipzig and Germany, but it's a different role. I think probably Frank's going to use him off that left-hand side, cutting from out to in.
What do you make of him going to Chelsea early?
Timo Werner?
Yeah. Shouldn't he have stayed and played for Leipzig in the Champions League?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Me, you and Stevie were talking about it last week, and Stevie could see it from Chelsea's point of view. But if I'm Timo Werner, the time that you spent at Leipzig and you've battled all this way to get them into the top 4 and title contenders at one point, and then you get them deep into a Champions League, I'd want to finish the job.
Well, what's the point? It's only going to be one game. They're going to get knocked out anyway.
You never know, though, do you?
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I do know that. I've been watching them, right? Trust me, I've been watching them recently since they came back after the lockdown, right? None of the teams have been able to even lay a finger on Bayern Munich or even get close to them, dropping points willy-nilly. They're not going to win the Champions League, so I'm not going to get injured, right? And I'm not going to scupper my move to Chelsea. And Chelsea have probably told me that. So do you know what, Leipzig? You can do one.
Wow, Craig.
That is selfish. That is
terrible.
You're
often your Leipzig winning the Champions League.
But what if it's 12 months ago and Dele Alli was going to Bayern Munich and then went to Bayern Munich instead of staying with Spurs for their Champions League run? Would it be the same? Would it be, yep, okay, off you go?
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean is, it seems to be one for one and one for the other. If it was 12 months ago and there was some sort of pandemic then, and Dele Alli was leaving Spurs, everyone would be in uproar, wouldn't they? How could he leave? Where's the loyalty? Why isn't he with them to the Champions League? Well, Timo Werner's doing exactly the same to Leipzig.
But I don't get your comparison, Dele Alli to Bayern Munich.
If that was happening, it's a hypothetical argument.
Yeah, but hold on. Timo Werner is playing for a team that has got not a hope in hell of winning the Champions League, and he's got a big move to Chelsea coming up.
You would have said Spurs wouldn't have had a chance, wouldn't you, of winning the Champions League?
That's like saying Harry Kane should have left Tottenham before the Champions League final because we're never going to win it.
They didn't have a chance of winning it. They got in the Champions League final and they got pumped.
But at the quarter-final stages, we said, they're not going to get past Ajax. They did that. Not going to get past Manchester City. They did that.
It's an absolutely stupid comparison because every single Tottenham player would jump off the ship and swim to shore to go to Bayern Munich. So don't give me all that. Oh,
I'd be on that cruise ship. By the way, if they're swimming, I'd be on that cruise ship. Just having a look over. Frank, I'll save you.
You'd be at the porthole again, looking for Frank. Is Frank there? Frank
and Jody, save them too.
All of a sudden, ESPN FC is promoting loyalty in sport. Oh, let's have loyalty in sport.
Who would you say
first? Do you not want to win the Champions League though? If you're Timo Werner, do you not want that medal?
Well, but he isn't getting one unless he goes down the shop and buys one. He's not getting one.
Don, who would you say first, Jody Morris or Frank Lampard?
Oh, that's a ridiculous question. That's the most outrageous question you've ever asked me, Frank Lampard.
What? Wow, take that, Jody.
Yeah, he'd swim in with Frank, doing the backstroke, obviously. Then make sure he's got a pulse, and then straight back out for Jody.
And the kiss of life.
Ah, yeah. Even though he's conscious, you're giving him the kiss of life.
Yeah, definitely. Frank, come here.
Have we figured out what games the Premier League is borrowing its crowd noise from? They just need to ask a refund, even if it's from themselves. So they're getting it from, I think, EA Sports. I think that's what they're doing from the video game. But it seems
somebody's trying to pipe in the exact noise that correlates to a particular moment, and that's quite difficult rather than being a little bit more generic. And I think maybe they're trying to just overcomplicate it a little bit, but it was a bit up and down today, certainly in the Merseyside derby.
Yeah, the Bundesliga seem to have it nailed on, Don.
Yeah, they do. It did sound a little bit naff when it first come in, but I tell you that the sound guys and the technicians have worked it well, because every Bundesliga game that I've watched, when the fan noise has been pumped through the TV, it's been first class.
Why in the Premier League?
I mean, why would you leave a Bundesliga team with crowd noise like that to go to a Premier League team? Why would you do that? I mean, Dele Alli wouldn't do that. Dele Alli wouldn't leave with the crowd noise and go to Bayern Munich.
Definitely not. Boys.
And I've got 3 months more of these stupid comparisons to give you before the season finishes.
That's it. We're done. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll be back tomorrow for more. What's playing tomorrow? Manchester City, Burnley tomorrow. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.